Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to an exclusive episode of Police Off the Cuff After Hours. My name is Mark DeMayo, and today I'm going to share with our YouTube members and Patreon members, the people that were kind enough to help sponsor us. I'm going to share with you a little secret, something that I've been doing for almost a year now. My anniversary is coming up. A little secret to keep myself healthy, especially during this pandemic. And I got to tell you, it's been a game changer. What I'm going to do in a couple of minutes is I'm going to jump into that frozen lake right behind me, and I'm going to stay in there for 10 minutes. And when I come out, I'm going to feel rejuvenated, refreshed, and charged up and ready for my day. All right. So that's not a real lake behind me, but here's the point. I've been doing Wim Hof. This is Wim Hof, by the way. This is my idol, my mentor right there. There he goes. That guy's an animal. He's a Dutch gentleman, and he has a philosophy on living, on taking care of yourself, and it involves breathing and ice baths. Now, before you get scared, let me tell you something, okay? You can substitute the ice bath for a cold shower. And trust me when I tell you it works. I'll give you a little backstory. I am 54 years old, but for some reason, I suffer from arthritis. It's not debilitating, but um, my elbows, my hands, my knees, especially my knees, they get swollen depending on the weather. So, for example, if it's really nice out and the weather's starting to change, and everybody's so excited about springtime coming, for some reason I swell up like a tick. Um, and then in the winter time too, I suffer from a lot of pain. And then I also had this really chronic neck problem. It was a tug, something that was tugging on the left side of my neck, and I couldn't get rid of it no matter what I did, and that lasted for almost a year. I think I went to massage therapy. I went to a chiropractor. I bought a noose that I can hang on the door and hang my head off of. I bought this other thing that you wear, like when you go to a chiropractor, it shakes up your neck, a stimulus. That didn't work either. I mean, these things work temporarily, but nothing has worked the way these ice baths have. Now, how does it work? I'm going to give you a little secret. If you go on YouTube and you put in the Vice documentary on Wim Hof, Wimhof, you can watch it. It's less than an hour's long, and it's a beautiful piece of work. I can't show you a clip from it because of the copyrights and stuff like that. I don't want this video being pulled. What I want to do is help you. So this is it. It's a Vice documentary. It's called The Iceman, and it's about Wim Hof and all the things that he's done between the world records. He's climbed Mount Everest. There he goes in nothing but shorts. He's submerged in an ice tub full of ice for over 2 hours. Sat there. He does remarkable things. He fought off a virus using nothing but his breathing technique. So I'm going to take you from the very beginning of what my schedule is. Now, here's the thing. Another thing you have to realize is you want to start off with the breathing. The breathing is key. Beginner's Guide to Breathing is also on YouTube. Okay, check that out. So you got the Vice documentary, and once you finish with that, please do yourself a favor. Go and just try the Beginner's Guide to Breathing. It's very simple. All it is in and out. And what it does is it expands your lungs. It contracts and it expands, and you're taking in more breath than you're letting out. Make sure that you're seated in a comfortable position, something where not on a ledge or high off of on a chair or anything like that, because you will get lightheaded. But it's a phenomenal feeling. Now, here's the thing. This is why it's so important, especially in this age where we are going through this pandemic. Okay, this was my idea from the beginning. I was looking for something to do during the pandemic, something to keep me healthy when the gyms were closed, and I stumbled upon it was a 30-day cold shower challenge. And once I started doing that, and I started off in little increments, 30 seconds, a minute, I built up to a minute and a half. I thought I was conquering the world. And then for some reason, this guy, Wim Hof, kept popping up whenever I was looking for that 30-day challenge to learn more about it. So I looked into Wim Hof and I discovered the breathing techniques. Now, the breathing techniques is what makes it possible for you to endure the frigid temperature of the cold water, because you're focusing more on breathing than you are on how cold the water is. So as soon as you submerge yourself, you step into that cold shower, or you step into this lake right behind me, and you start focusing on breathing instead of how cold the water is, you start taking control of your mind. And that is another aspect of the Wim Hof thing. It's a way to use the breathing to control your actions and your reactions. And it's just a wonderful, wonderful practice that I'm sharing with you. Once your breathing gets more advanced, then there's other forms of breathing, and I've stumbled upon DMT, which is a natural way to waken up. I guess the stuff that makes you trip if you take acid, that kind of stuff like that. It's really intense as you go further down the line. I've never really tripped off the breathing. But I would imagine if you never did drugs in your life, then this probably might get you off. And then this guy I like a lot too, underneath him. The breath of fire is one form of breathing. And we combine several different types of breathing together. There's breath of fire, there's the Wim Hof breathing technique, and what was this other one? I'm losing it right now because I'm on the spot. Um, I use probably four different types of breathing right now, because I would imagine that somehow I'm more advanced because I've been doing it for a year. I'll tell you a little bit about what my schedule looks like. When I'm done with recording this and sharing it with you, I'm going to jump on my couch. I like to use the couch. I can sit up straight in my couch. I put a blanket over me, um, and then I start with my breathing. I have my breathing on my YouTube, certain ones that I've selected that I enjoy doing the most. One of them I showed you right now, this picture right here. I'll start off with the one on top. That uses three different types of breaths. But for you, you start off in the beginning with this breathing. Now, the breathing takes as long as you want it to take. This 3 rounds right now, this beginning 3 rounds that I'm showing to you, look at it. Right here in the corner, it says it takes 11 minutes for that whole video. So now you knocked off the breathing, right? You're done with the breathing. And I've included meditation after my breathing now. That's what's happened to me during my exploration of this method. I've enhanced it. So I've gone from doing the beginning breathing and then jumping into a cold shower to more than beginning breathing. My breathing sessions last right now somewhere from 30 to 40 minutes, depending on how much time I have. Which is another wonderful thing about this Wim Hof method, is that you can scale it back depending on how much time you have. If you only have 15, 20 minutes that day to dedicate yourself, to a better life, then that's you take advantage of that 15, 20 minutes. If I have an hour, hour and a half, I'm going to do 40 minutes of breathing. I'm going to do 10 minutes of meditation, and then I'm going to do a 10-minute cold shower. But like I said, all these different things can be adjusted. Some days I don't have that much time, so I do uh, 10 minutes of breathing, 10 minutes of meditation, and a 4-minute shower. And I'm done in 25 minutes. And that can also be adjusted too. So you can tell I'm excited about this. I love sharing this stuff. I know it sounds crazy, but I want to go back to what I was suffering from, which was the inflammation. Inflammation is debilitating as you get older. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm 54 years old, and the breathing, it helps my lungs. It helps strengthen out my lungs. I've also incorporated sauna now. I go to the gym, I use the sauna. That's how my method, my system has evolved. But that's another thing that I do to build up my lung strength. I can't help myself for being paranoid about the coronavirus, and I know, like everybody else knows, that it attacks the lungs, your respiratory system. I wanted to make sure that my lungs were as strong as they could possibly be. God forbid I caught the COVID. So basically, back to what was wrong with me. The inflammation. By doing these cold showers every single day, I've knocked out the inflammation. This year was the first year in about 7 or 8 years that I didn't have to go get my left knee drained. Every year, the pain becomes so unbearable. My knee becomes so swollen. The ice treatments that I do, just sitting on the couch, icing my knee, they stop working. I was popping tons of, not tons, but, 6, 8, either Advils or Motrins a day, two in the morning, two in the afternoon, two in the evening, just to hobble around. And everything else is okay with me except for this freaking knee that doctors are recommending I get replaced at some point. Maybe I'm a little still too young for it because they only last 15 years. On and on and on. I didn't have to get my knee replaced this year. I mean, my knee. I didn't have to get the inflammation, the water drawn out of my knee this year, which if you've ever had to have that happen, the needle's like this big. It doesn't really hurt that much. They ice it up. I have a pretty high tolerance for pain at this point, I think. So, um, it's just the discomfort of walking around every day with this bad knee, and now I don't have it anymore. Now I'm up. I started doing squats again in the gym, which I'm taking it easy with, but calm down. All right, let me just get back because I'm too excited about this. All right, so the cold showers, what does it do? It got rid of the inflammation that was surrounding my body and keeping me in constant discomfort daily for months at a time, depending on what the weather is outside. And then um it also got rid of the pain in my neck. I guess the pain in my neck was like a pinched nerve that was caused by inflammation surrounding that nerve, tightening up on that nerve and pinching it. It's gone. It's gone. Now, mind you, I stay on top of my cold showers every single day. Why? Because if I go and I can feel the pain coming back in at a certain part of the day. I think the ice baths and the cold showers they last probably 8 to 10 hours, and then I'll start feeling the tugging coming back in my neck again, and then I'll hit the shower again or an ice bath. Now I'm going back and forth between shower and ice bath, and the reason why I'm doing that is because whatever your situation is with your house and how your living situation and how much you get into Wim Hof, if you decide to take my advice, these are a type of bats that are available to you. Now, I'm partial. They're just incredible. There's a lot of people into this method, by the way, and this is becoming very, very popular. And these are different things that you can put outside your house. I bought an inflatable tub sometime during the summer, and I'm 6'4". I bought the inflatable tub because in the summer, I live in New York City. In the summer, you can only get the water so cold. The water cold comes from a reservoir. You don't have a system in the house that actually freezes up your cold water. It's just as cold as the water is in outside, that like at the beach or whatever. So it's not that cold. So I substitute ice baths a couple of times a week. I go to the supermarket. I buy 4 or 5 bags of ice, and then I would put it in the tub. The problem is, it being my height, I can only do half my body at a time. So I do my legs for 5 minutes, and then I scoot down, which isn't pretty, by the way. God forbid something happens to me in there, and they come in, EMS comes in and finds me like that. It's going to be a lot of splaining to do, Lucy. Why my legs are up in the air like that. But anyway, um, so then I do my upper half of the body for 5 minutes, and that pretty much cures me. And I do that twice a week during the summer. And unfortunately, that inflatable tub that I bought is only as big as my bathtub. I set it up once or twice outside, and then I realized it's not big enough for me. But if I went and I measured one of these, if I had a living situation where I could get this, takes a plunge. That white one there looks like this one right here. It looks like something I would really get into. That looks nice. Now, when you have one of those tubs, what you can do is you fill it up once. You make sure that you jump in clean. You take a shower before you jump in, then you cover it, so you don't have to keep changing the water all the time. And the reason why I know that is not because I have one, just because I've been doing research on these tubs. I'm fascinated by them. I wish I could have one. I've been trying to find one that's reasonable in price. You can spend anywhere from $3,000 to $4,000. There's one over there that's $9,000, and you can buy a blow up one for $70 there. All right, so that is back to, now. When it comes to the shower, I'll give you my time frame. I spoke earlier about breaking down your uh, your your training, your technique here, your method to make it um, available to how much time you have that day. Now, on a day where I'm short on time, the lowest I'll really go in the shower is probably 4 minutes, and that's because I really want to get the water all over me and extinguish the inflammation from all the places that I possibly can. And I have a routine, the way I go in, where I start my body and I turn around, I get my neck, I get the back of my knee, I get just in the shower. Now, the shower right now in the wintertime is the water is freezing. It's so cold. It's as cold as the water that's behind me. I can guarantee it because once again, it is the water that's behind me. It's coming in from a reservoir. And when you turn my shower anyway, I have just one knob on it, and when I turn it on, I just go as high. It starts off on cold, so I go as high as I can. Um, well, as little as I can with letting the water run. So I make sure that it's as cold as it can possibly be, and then I take 3 deep breaths, and then I jump in. I don't jump in. I step in, and now, mind you, one of the things that's it's fascinating about this technique, and if you watch the Wim Hof documentary, like I suggest, he talks about this, how the ice water is it's medicine, and how it's a challenge. It's when everything else in life, we're constantly searching for comfort, ways to make ourselves more comfortable. The cold water is unforgiving. It will never ever be comfortable. Every single day that you go in there, it sucks. And why is that good? Why is it good to do something that sucks every single day? I'll tell you why. Because it's uncomfortable. And because we have to continue to put ourselves in uncomfortable situations. There's nothing that I'm gonna do during the day that's gonna be tougher than jumping into the shower that I'm about to jump into right now. First of all, because it's, I don't know, 32 degrees outside, which is freezing, and it's gonna be colder in the shower that I jump into. But it's a battle. It's a battle. It's a battle in focusing on your breathing, using your breathing technique. It's a battle, a mental battle that after you win it, when the shower is done, you feel like $1,000,000. I guarantee you. Just trust me on this. Just trust me. Do it a couple of times. Do it for the 30 days. If I didn't change your life, if Wim Hof, not me, I don't have nothing to do with it, but if Wim Hof, I'm just sharing the information. If the Wim Hof method didn't change your life, then I'm sorry I wasted your time. I'm sorry I introduced you to it, but I guarantee you, there's a 100% chance you're going to be happy with what you did. Trust me. There's plenty of people jumping on board on this. You know why? Because it's free. That's why. I'm not asking you to join a gym and pay a certain amount, or buy a bicycle for your house that's going to cost you $3,000-4,000, and every month there's going to be a payment because you're paying for the music. This is free. It's absolutely free. You can do it in your house. There's no cost. As long as you have running water somewhere, cold water, you can do it. You sit on your couch, you do the breathing. I showed you the beginner's guide to breathing, right? That's the beginning. Try that. It's very, very simple. You go in on YouTube, you put in Wim Hof, you watch the documentary, you see what it's all about, you get motivated. Then you start with the beginner's breathing. After you do the beginner's breathing, you jump into the shower, you set it on cold, you jump in there, you try to do 30 seconds. Then you build it up to a minute. And then before you know it, I'm going to go right now. I'm going to set it for 8 minutes right now. I'm going to do my breathing, my meditation. Then I'm going to do an 8-minute cold shower, and it's going to set me up for a wonderful day. I'm going to get out of that shower, and I'm going to feel charged up, ready to go for the day. It's an incredible feeling. Now, I'll let you know a little secret. When I first started doing this, I wasn't warming up afterwards. And especially during the winter when it's very, very cold outside and you jump out of a cold shower, you do feel charged. You do feel like $1,000,000. But it could be a little bit too much. It could be a little bit too charged up, and then you wind up spending the rest of the day feeling cold, no matter what you do. What I do is I don't have enough time to separate or take multiple showers a day where one I'm cleaning and the other one I'm just doing the cold shower. So what I do is I do my cold shower first. And then when my cold shower is done, I put on the hot water, the warm water, and then I clean. I wash myself up. I wash my hair. I do whatever it is that I do in there, and it's not pretty. I'll tell you that. I do all that stuff, and then I'm done with it. But you see, what it does is, for me, it kind of cuts the charge a little bit in half. I still feel gung ho. Still feel like I can conquer the world, but I'm not going to spend the rest of the day feeling cold. So let me just go back. I want to make sure that I covered everything. I know I was a little bit all over the place. It's just my excitement. There's so much information to give you in such a short period of time, but I wanted to make sure that I get it all out there. The Wim Hof, the Vice documentary. Once again, watch it, please. It's 45 minutes. You'll love it. Even if you never try to do this, the guy's a fascinating character. Go to YouTube, watch the Wim Hof documentary. If that turns you on, you can find Wim Hof's breathing, all the guides, the techniques. Start off right on YouTube. He also has an app that you can join, the Beginner's Guide to Breathing. Once your breathing gets more advanced, um, and you might be growing a little bit bored with just the Wim Hof breathing, there's other types. There's the DMT, which is just a faster pace Wim Hof, but it gets you lightheaded, and you may feel like you're tripping. And then there's the breath of fire, where you breathe out of your nose at a rapid pace. There's alkaline breathing with it's the same thing like Wim Hof, but everything is through your nose. And right now my nose is kind of stuffy, but alkaline breathing, the breath of fire, Wim Hof, DMT. I gave you 3, and then there's the I forgot what the name of that is. The in and out, and Tumonic breathing, something like that. Sumonic breathing, and you incorporate all these different types of breathing after you become more advanced. It makes the whole situation much more interesting. But there's nothing like the basic breathing. And since I'm a comedian, and um, sometimes I want to make sure that I'm mentally prepared for taking the stage. If I'm headlining, I'm going to be up there 45 minutes. I want to feel the room. What it does, the breathing, it pulls you into the moment. I sit backstage in the green room, and I start doing my breathing. And before you know it, I can feel the laughter. I'm in the room with them already, even though I'm not on stage. And I kind of sort of feel the vibe. And it helps you. It helps you throughout your day. It'll help you in tight situations. There's also the Stoics, which is a philosophy. Marcus Aurelius, all this, whatever I started doing this and discovered from the 30-day challenge, to discovering Wim Hof, to discovering meditation, to discovering saunas, all these things also led into discovering Marcus Aurelius and the meditations and the Stoics and the philosophy on living your life. And these are all the things that I've just been going through in this last year, and they've changed me. They've changed me as a person. I feel like I get it. I've matured a little tremendously in this last year, dealing with problems, dealing with people, and living in the moment, which is the most important thing. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. There's nothing we can do about the past. Why not live fully in the moment? And this is one of the philosophies that you'll get from Wim Hof, and that's where he gets it from, is the Stoics. It's a whole chain of events that have done nothing but help me become a much better person, much healthier person. I have more energy. I'm in a better mood all day. I'm happier, and I'm sharing this with you because you've been so kind and supported the podcast that we're doing, the After Hours podcast, and Bill's True Crime podcast. So I wanted to let you in on this secret. Trust me when I tell you, I wouldn't steer you wrong. Just give it a chance. Give it a shot. It'll change your life. And like I said, it's free. There's nothing that's going to cost you in this money-wise, except for your time, which is going to be helpful and beneficial. And also, if you want to go out at some point and get one of these really fancy hot tubs, not hot tubs, they're cold tubs, they're cold plunge tubs. And if you do get a cold plunge tub and you are somewhere in New York and you started it because of me, please contact me. I want to jump in your cold tub. Not together, but I want to jump in your cold tub. So I was going to talk about this for 5 minutes, and look, I've gone on for 25 minutes, and I could go on for another 25 minutes. You could obviously, I hope that you can see the enthusiasm that I have for it, and I'm hoping that you'll just give it a try. If you suffer from inflammation, if you suffer from any type of chronic pain, headaches, or whatever, trust me when I tell you this will help you. Okay, and feel free to comment, send us emails, let me know what you think, and go at your own pace. There's nobody rushing you. If you got years of smoking, just do the breathing really, really easy. It's gonna be tough. I also suffer from what's that? I get heartburn a lot, and I take the pills, but some days if I have the heartburn, it kind of sort of like it'll mess up my breathing. But if I keep forcing through with the breathing, eventually I'm knocking the heartburn out of the way. Acid reflux, that's what I have. Um, there's another word for it too that I'm missing. But there we did it. We talked about Wim Hof for 26 minutes. So please email us at the show here. Feel free to share your experience with this. I hope that I was able to help you. And once again, I thank you. And I wish you a blessed new year. God bless.